Good morning. It is January 29th, 2016, and I really just had conviction from the Lord that I have not been using my mouth to share the things that He has shared with me. And I'm making this video today as the first video of however many dreams that I'll be placing in here. And I really just believe that these are godly dreams. So I wanted to start by giving the first dream that I have had, and I had it in July of 2015. And before I actually explain the dream, I want to share why it has taken so long for me to share this word with you, or this dream with you. And I'll just be honest, I was dealing with the spirit of fear. I was dealing with deliverance from rejection and people pleasing and fear of persecution and death for the Lord's name. And today is really just the climax of the day that the Lord has really just said, Julie, you need to be sharing. There are many other people out here that are sharing. And if I've given you this, why are you not sharing? So I wanted to share. And I'm telling you, this is my belief. I am not saying that this is your truth, but I do invite you to comment below or ask questions or whatever, and just kind of see what you think. I do want to say, however, that I am inviting you to comment in a holy, unbiased manner. If I see comments that will cause other people to stumble, if I see hatred, slander, you will be removed from my page. And that is my right. This is my page, and it is for my voice. So if you do not like what you hear, I apologize that I have offended you, but you did end up here for a reason. So if you decide that this is not what you want to continue listening to, then there are plenty of other pages on YouTube that you can visit. And God bless you. Okay, so I was living in Columbus, Georgia at the time when I had this dream. And it was right around the time that the Lord was talking to me about discernment, about opening my eyes and seeing things for the way He sees them. And He was really just growing me in that spiritual gift of discernment. So I just asked the Lord, I was like, God, what am I missing? You know, He was telling me that I do a really good job of seeing things up close, but I don't do such a good job of seeing things that are in the distance. So I was like, all right, God, I really just want to know what that means. Well, so this one night I had this dream, and it started off where I saw this big flaming red ball coming very quickly from up in the sky, and it was descending. And as it was descending very quickly, I also saw like a trail of ash and smoke behind it. And I could hear what sounded like jet, like a mock jet, that sound that you hear when the jet is passing over you. It was very loud. And I look and I see all of these people just running around, and they are screaming in terror. And I don't know if I was actually there as if I'm seeing this event, or if I am part of this event. I don't really understand that part of it. But I do know that I was standing underneath this really tall tree that had just a little bit of shade around me, like maybe enough shade to fit a few other people under this tree with me. And I'm standing here and I feel this very cool breeze, and I don't feel afraid for what I see for myself, but I do have fear for what I'm seeing that is happening in the environment around me and the people that are around me. And so as these people are running and screaming, I am literally seeing their flesh just fall off. Like it's almost melting, as if kind of what you might see when radiation happens. It was very scary. And as I saw this happening, I see these two married couples come underneath the tree with me, and they have their children with them. And they said to me, "Why are you not afraid?" And I said, "Well, if you trust in Jesus, then you don't have to be afraid either." So I started talking to them about Jesus. I started talking to them about his salvation. I started talking to him about how he has not given us a spirit of fear, but of a sound mind, which I think is kind of funny because at this time I was dealing with that. But I'm sharing this truth with them, and the husband from one of the couples believed on Jesus and his wife did not. And then the other couple, the wife believed on Jesus and the husband did not. And so the wife from the one and the husband from the other decided to stay under the shelter of the tree with me. And the other spouse from both couples decided to go back out into the chaos because they were offended about Jesus. So I saw this tug of war happen between their children. And I saw the children screaming, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I want to stay here." But the children did end up getting taken out into the chaos. And all of the sudden I heard this voice in my dream, and it was a very low, I want to say that it was calming yet concerning. And I know that that sounds crazy, but that's the only way that I can explain it. And I heard the voice say three things to me. The first one said that darkness will fall. The second thing that was said is there will be no food. And then there was a third thing that was said that as I woke up from the dream, I did not remember what the third thing was said, but I knew there was a third thing. And I've asked the Lord to remind me what that third thing was, and he keeps just saying to me, in time, in time. So he is going to share that with me in his time. For some reason, he has withheld that third part from me. So all of a sudden, the first thing that this voice, which I can only believe is the Lord, this voice says to, or this first thing that happens as the voice has said this first thing is, all of a sudden it got really dark. So darkness had just fallen. And it was very dark. There were no lights. It got really cold, almost as if a frost had happened. And I see my husband and my children over to the side, and they are in this gutter. And I say to my husband, you know, don't be afraid. Come under here with me. And he says, well, let's go find some food. And so, you know, I agreed to go with him, even though I know the second thing that I heard was there will be no food. So I follow him, and we come across this big storehouse of food, and it's completely dark on the inside, but all of the doors are chained shut. And as my husband is trying to find a way into this place to find food, that voice says to me once again, I said there will be no food. So if I was seeing this picture of this warehouse with food, there was food, but what I believe the Lord was saying was that you're not going to be able to get to it. It's going to be locked away. So my husband and I decide that we are going to go back under the rest of this tree that I found shelter in the first part of the dream. So we're underneath the shelter of the tree, and all of a sudden it gets light again. So almost as if a new day has come. And again, there is the screaming and the people running around, and they're in terror. But this time, my husband and my children are under the tree with me, along with the spouse from the two marriages from the beginning. But all of a sudden, I see a whole lot of other people that are now under the tree, and the shade has gotten larger from this tree. So it was like the bounty of the harvest of Christians was increasing under this tree. Well, I woke up from that dream, and I just remember asking the Lord, God, what is that all about? Because a lot of times I will take a dream and say, God, is this from you or is this not from you? Because I do know that a lot of times Satan can come in and give us things, and there's confusion, and you just feel very confused. You might see things in black and white or gray, but I just asked the Lord, and I just really felt that this was him. And so I just said, God, if this is you, then I'm just asking for an interpretation of this dream. Well, around that time, I came across this spirit in today's society, and it's referenced as the Queen of Heaven. And so I just did a Google search, a YouTube search on the Queen of Heaven, and I came across a lot of stuff about how our government is led by this spirit, and how the Queen of Heaven is actually a parallel or a likeness of Ishtar, Ashtaroth, basically the whore of Babylon, as it talks about in Revelation. And so as I started doing research, I came across a plethora of stuff about our government and what was being planned for us. And I came across a lot of other people who have had dreams of inbound comets or asteroids. I started coming across Revelation, where it was talking about how there will be two masses of land that come and are actually due to one of the bowls of wrath that come out. One is the massive land that hits water, and then the massive land that hits earth. And so I couldn't help but believe that these two events that happened due to this big, great, flaming red mass of fire were these two things that it talks about in Revelation. And there are a lot of other people who have said that, you know, these comets are going to hit water, hit the East Coast, hit, you know, there's all of this stuff. And I don't know exactly how I believe as far as what all of those people say. I'm just giving you what I saw. And I've been praying about what is coming. Now, I know that the Lord has shared with me other dreams that have kind of opened up some of these other aspects of this first dream for me. And again, this is my belief. So I want to share this with you and just ask you to pray about it. Ask you to take it before the Lord and just say, hey, is there any truth in it? Or is this complete garbage? So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close off this video, and I'll release another video with another dream. But for now, this will be video number 1. All right, have a good day.